everybody, Low Carb Keith here. I'm back in my kitchen and I'm here to make another great low carb meal. Now you know, I love a good cheeseburger, but I also love a good casserole. And today I'm going to combine those and show you how to make a low carb cheeseburger casserole. So let's get to it. Let me show you what we're going to be using to make the casserole. I've got a pound of ground beef. It's 85/15. I have a half a cup of diced onions. I have a cup and a half of a shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I also have a bag of riced cauliflower that I've already steamed in the microwave. I've got some mayonnaise, sugar-free ketchup, some mustard, salt and pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. And I've also got some olive oil. So that's what we're going to be using to make our cheeseburger casserole. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add some olive oil to our skillet that we're going to heat up and cook the onions and the hamburger with. So we just let that get in there and let that heat up for just a little bit. And let's go ahead and add our onions. Okay. It's about a half a cup of diced onions. This is a sweet onion that I'm using today. Okay. And then we're going to add our hamburger meat. And just kind of get it chopped up. And we're going to cook the hamburger meat and the onions together, and this will probably take 5 to 7 minutes, something like that. All right, you can now tell that the meat is browned and the onions are cooked, but you can also tell, look how much grease there was in that. So the thing that we want to do is we want to be able to get as much of that grease out as possible, not all of it, but get some of it out. So I'm going to take it over here and try to get a little bit of that grease out so it's not too greasy. Alright, so we got most of it out. Good. Now what we want to do is we want to take our salt and our pepper and our garlic powder, and I'm going to turn that down. And we're going to give it a little bit of a seasoning. Probably use about a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and maybe the same amount of pepper. And we're going to give it just a little bit of garlic powder. You could use regular garlic in this, minced garlic if you wanted to. I'm just going to, I don't want a lot of garlic, but I'm going to give it a little bit. All right. Just adds a little bit of flavor to it. And we just want to heat that up and let that get good mixed. Cook it for about maybe another minute or so like that. Now what we want to do is we want to turn the heat off, okay, and let it cool down for just a minute. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our mayonnaise, which is about a quarter of a cup of mayonnaise. We want to add about a quarter of a cup of mayonnaise, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. That looks to me to be about a quarter of a cup of mayonnaise. All right. There we go. And then we're going to add about a quarter of a cup of no sugar added ketchup. Now I bought this the other day, so this has total carbs is a tablespoon is 1 carb in it. So I'll add about 1/4 of a cup of this. I think that's probably about close enough. And then we're going to add just a little bit of mustard. Not much, just a little bit. And this is Dijon mustard. You could use yellow mustard if you wanted to as well. And then we're also, let's go ahead and mix this up. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add some of our cheddar cheese. Not all of it, but some of it. Now that the heat's off, it won't burn. I've got 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar, and this is sharp cheddar. You can use any kind of cheese that you want, but the recipe that I got called for cheddar, so we're going to use about 1 cup, maybe, yeah, about 1 cup of cheddar. And mix that up. And then the final thing that we're going to add to it, and this was an option on the recipe that I got. I found this recipe online, and I've made several different kinds of cheeseburger casserole before, but this one was a little bit different. It said if you wanted to make it a full meal, you could always add some cauliflower rice. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to add this bag of cauliflower rice to it. And now we're just going to mix that up. The cauliflower rice has already been steamed, already been cooked in the microwave. Okay. Mix that up good. See how cheesy it is. And that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer that to a baking dish. And I've already prepared a baking dish, and I've sprayed it with a little cooking spray. I'm going to transfer that over into the baking dish. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to take the remaining cheese that we've got, which is about 1/2 cup or so, and sprinkle that on top. Let's go ahead and kind of sprinkle that on top. All right, and now we're going to put it in the oven for about 15 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to let that cheese melt. It's going to take all those flavors and just kind of put them together and blend them together. And in about 15 or 20 minutes, we'll have our casserole, and it will be completely done. Oh my, look at that. It's bubbling, cheesy. All right. So I made my low-carb cheeseburger casserole today. It was pretty simple. It was pretty easy, not a lot of special ingredients. And I'm excited to give it a taste. So let's give it a taste and see how it turned out. It's hot, so I hope I don't burn myself. Oh man, that is so good. You know, it's and the cauliflower rice really added some texture to it. It's, you know, I was afraid that it was just going to be kind of ground beefy and dry, but it is not. It is moist. That cauliflower rice just mixes in really well. The cheese is there, the onion, you can taste that, and the seasonings. It's just really delicious. Another bite. It's what I'm going to have for supper tonight, and maybe for the next couple of days. It's delicious. What I made today will give you at least 4 servings, and you're probably looking at maybe 5 net carbs for an entire serving of that. It really is good. You can also taste the mayonnaise and the ketchup and the mustard a little bit. So it does taste like a cheeseburger. So there it is. Thanks for watching. I hope you get a chance to make this. It's easy and it tastes really good. So I'm going to finish this and we'll see you next time.